Okay, beautiful people. It's your girl, makeup artist DeShawn Hatcher. First of all, when somebody comes on here, let me know if that fan is bothering you. I'll ask in a minute if that fan noise is bothering you. If it is, I will have to figure out how to turn it off. So listen, beautiful people, it is your girl, makeup artist DeShawn Hatcher, all the way from New York. And as I do on Sunday, we sit down and we have a chit and a chat with my fellow makeup artists, and we discuss all kinds of things that they want to talk about. Doesn't matter, money issues, client issues, any kind of funky issues that you might have. That's what I'm here to help you with. And so, we normally do this on Sundays, okay? So normally it's a Sunday, but because it's summer, my summers get a little funky, and so I figured to make it safe and not cancel, let's do it on a Monday. I figured that would be the best thing to do is to just move this joint to a Monday instead of saying I just can't do it at all. So we're going to have Monday chat, Monday at 8 chat, and not Sunday at 7, and not Sunday at 7 chat. So there you go. Monique! Hi everyone, I just got off of work. Oh, hey Monique. Hi, sweetheart. Listen, Monique, I'm not sure. Something happened with I don't know if we have any YouTubers on here who do this too, who are live. And if you are a YouTuber, you gotta let me know. I'll follow you behind. So just let me know. But people, you guys ask me questions on here, and I try to take a screenshot, then print it out. And then sometimes what happens is your question just goes into the ether. I can't find it. So I couldn't find who asked me the question. I'm not sure if you asked me a question this week, Monique. If you did, and I know you asked me very detailed questions. If you did ask me a question, please type it out tonight because I cannot find anybody's question. So I don't understand what's happening. It could be something with the YouTube where I don't know, maybe after a couple of days they take it down. I don't know, child. I cannot find these last questions that I had from last week. But I remember one of them. I remember one of them. Hey, Nubian Princess popping in to say hi. I'm in another IT class for 3 more weeks. Oh, okay, sweetie. Congratulations on your IT class, sweetie. Do a magnificent job, girl. Some more. Hello, some more. Hey, DeShawn. Hey. Oh, what is somebody? No, it was not me this time. She's like, no, Sean, it wasn't me. Okay, honey. Well, I remember one question, but I don't remember the way that they formed it. And so I feel terrible because you know how I like to read the questions with the drama. Okay, with the drama, and I don't have it. Who's that? Star Jam. Hi, love you too, Star Jam. Hi, honey. So someone was nice enough to ask a very detailed question about I believe, see, so I'm going, I believe the question was about under eye makeup and how um, to stop it from creasing. I believe that's what the question was. And I know they had more to tell me, but I don't know. I don't have it. So I'm not sure. So I will answer the under eye creasing issue. I mean, I tend to do makeup, I would say, simply. I'm old school makeup girl, so I don't tend to load on makeup like you see, like you see people will do corrector. They'll do a whole thing of corrector, like they call it like they'll call like a concealer, a liquid concealer, a corrector, which it could be, and then they put it on, and then they go ka 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 ka, and then then they put the foundation on top, and they go ka 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 ka, and then they put the concealer on top, and they go fu, 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 ka 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 ka, right? And so when you do so much around the eye area, right? When you're doing so much, that stuff, all of that makeup, it's just, it's like in a crease. So here, instead of it kind of going like this, you're filling up. I wish I had like here. Whoop, this place. I'm still working on this office. So like instead of the makeup being able to kind of like glaze over, when I say you guys, I don't mean you guys. So what's happening is that you're putting on so much makeup that it's doing this now. So it's filling up with all of that makeup. So people always say, well, what do you do with that? And one of the reasons why I tend to like to go into this area first when I do makeup, right? I normally you'll see me dot 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 dot, dot right? It's because two things. A few things about eye makeup that bothers me, or eyes that bother me, is like when there's like blue spots down here, or brown spots, or all that kind of funk that we can get around the eye. I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. And sometimes it's very distracting to me to see all of that minutiae under the eye. So I tend to go in there and clean it up. And so what I mean by cleaning up is I correct it. I go in there with a corrector, and then I clean that up. And the reason why I really like to do that is because it gives it time to settle. And a lot of times you're not giving the makeup enough time to kind of settle, which means settle within the lines, right? So we need it. Wait, I need another line. Hold up. Line, line, line. So you need it to, now what will happen is underneath my eye, or underneath their eye, now this is makeup, right? And this is makeup, right? So what you do now, most people that I see who have this problem, they will powder right on top of this. And now what you've done is stuck. It's stuck and it's hard to move, but it's creasy. And then you're fighting. What I tend to do is I don't powder nothing until the very, very end. And so I'll work on the eye, okay? And then what I'll do is if I start seeing creasing underneath the eye, I just go boop, 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 boop. I make them look up and I go, or they could do this, right? Make them do it. See what happens when you do that? So you can make them say, tell them go, and this will stretch. And then you go, boop, 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 boop. Done. Okay? Then you continue, and then you keep working. Remember, you have anywhere from 20 minutes for a full face to an hour or sometimes longer. So what will happen is you're giving this area in here time to keep resetting itself. You're giving that makeup time to like move around. It's moving around. It's on the ocean of your face and it's moving around and it's going back into the lines. It's going to keep doing this until we gently work it out. We don't have to go in and do anything. But again, the amount of makeup that you put underneath someone's eyes that has a lot of lines, the more lines that somebody has underneath their face, the less makeup you put. You understand? When they're super young, when you see these youngins running around here on the U and the tube, and they're like, look at me, and then they put that stuff on, right? And they're caking it on and caking it on and caking it on, is because they really don't have that many lines underneath their eyes, and they're able to get away with that. Okay. Remember, and there's a whole bunch of trickery. There's lights, there's filters, so you can't see what's going on. It's like the J-Lo effect. Because if you were to see J-Lo up close and personal, that girl got wrinkles, she got lines, but it's hard to see because she's constantly being shot in some type of filter situation. She's got expert lighting on her. But again, you have to allow the makeup to move. You have to allow it to kind of do its thing, and then you just listen. All I do is take my fingers, go blah 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 blah. That's it. I don't take a sponge. I don't go crazy, but I just keep letting it settle back. I like it when it settles back into the lines, and I let it settle back into the lines, and I just keep moving it with my fingers until it's time to set. And when it's time to set, I do. Remember, guys, I told you about this type of brush, and I'm trying to keep my makeup kit around here. So hold up. Let me see. I told you about this brush last week. Your mother. Crap. So I told you guys about this brush. Yeah, I don't see it. So do you see Lilfy, light, right? So then you would go underneath and you take a light dusting of powder and you just go make them look up and you dust it on. You do not go in there ham like a crazy person and go in there and have enough powder. Here, I'm going to exaggerate, but this is what y'all do. Again, I'm going to put on the powder and have enough powder on the brush where you see it, where you can see it. No, you have to have a very light brush where you can just take it and go under and take it and go under. And that should set it in place. The other thing that I see that a lot especially when I'm teaching, is that, how can I explain it? You're putting on the makeup and the person is sometimes open and closing the eyes. They're talking to you, and they're very expressive, and they're talking, and all of this movement is not helping set the makeup in place. So a lot of times, I might say to a person, "Stop moving, keep your eyes closed," right? Because a lot of times, what will happen is we have makeup here, it will transfer here, all of that because they're moving, we're moving, and it's not being set. And you need it to set. And a lot of times, if you're working with creams, that's all I work with. Well, every now and then liquids too, but most of the time I work with creams, right? That it needs time to kind of chill out on the face. But if they're keeping open and closing their eyes and doing all these things, you're going to get creasing. You're going to get a lot of creasing. I mean, I have a crease right here in my eye. And I know that if DeShawn, if you sit here and keep putting your makeup on and you keep open and closing your eyes, you're going to crease up your eye. Stop moving. I have to tell it to myself. So you have to train your clients. Remember, command your chair. You have to command your chair and tell those people to keep their eyes closed, keep their mouths shut. You know, if you're working on the lip, you have to command your chair in order for all of that to kind of stay put. So now I'm putting my glasses back on because I can't see what y'all said. I can't see. I can see. Okay. So let me see. Hey, Rashad. Hi, honey. You stop doing it. That's what you do. Right. Stop doing it. Just stop doing that. And get eye cream, damn it. Look, that's right. I mean, I am not, you know me, sweetie. I'm not, first of all, everybody knows I'm gonna plug your ass anyway. So Rashad has an amazing skincare line. Thank you very much. Keeps a girl young. Rashad Terry Global Beauty. I have put it up on the community board, I think, a few times now, but I will keep putting it up because it's a worthwhile product. And I do carry it in my kit. So there you go. But, the other trick is, the other thing, thank you, Rashad, for having me plug you, and then my brain snapped back into reality. The other thing that happens is, the reason why you get creasing is because you're not allowing the moisturizer, whatever you're putting around here, to absorb into the skin. And then when it absorbs into the skin and it has like some stuff sitting on top, some people just tend to go right over that, right? Well, you can't do that. And you have to dab that excess off. You cannot have excess moisturizer on the face, especially around the eye area. You cannot have that excess moisture at all. So again, you would do something where you tell them, look up, go like this, and it stretches this whole area. You could pull down a little bit if you want and just get that moisturizer off. Because remember, moisturizer works like, I don't know, it works. So when your skin has had enough, right, it's not going to penetrate anymore. When it sits on top and it's dewy and gluey and all that, it means that I can't go in no further, biatch. You got to wipe off the rest of my face. It can't take it. Okay, especially remember, and you have oily skin people too. I'm an oily skin girl. So you have to be careful with oily skin people because we create our own oil. So now you're putting on moisturizer on top of our oil. You have to be careful of that. That also causes a lot of creasing. So all of that comes into play. You can use primers, which is fine, Urban Decay, whatever your primer of choice, but I would be very gentle. I would be very gentle about the amount of that stuff you use because, again, it's around the eye. Now, I see people all the time. I see it. They go in that little Urban Decay thing and they're wah, 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 wah. And then they're turning this whole thing white, like white. And then what's happening is now, again, we're forming this weird barrier where you're putting the primer on and you're still doing this. You're still doing this, even with your primer. You see, you can't do that. Everything has to be around this area, around here. It has to be gentle, especially when it comes to creams and stuff. It has to be gentle. So you got to take my class to see my technique, but that's what I'm talking about. you have to be super duper duper gentle around there, including moisturizers, primers, and all that stuff. You have to be super super gentle. So Monique says, yes, I've seen J-Lo in person and she was powdered down. You can definitely see her lines. Exactly. That's why I'm like tired of people yelling about what she's done to her face. Excuse me, because she has lines on her face. But again, for the most part, it's like what you just said, Monique, is 2000% correct. When someone is matted down, the lines tend to kind of go away and everything's smooth. It's when you start dewy and gluing, you got to be super careful with that because the lines will show up. That's why she is constantly clinging to Scott Barnes, because Scott understands her face. He understands what needs to be done, and he understands makeup on older women because he used to work on Erica Jane before she went belly up and she had no more money, but he used to work on her. And even though she barely has any lines, there's so much Botox, but he's very good with older women. But even younger women, I have worked on teenage models that had way more lines underneath their eyes and crow's feet. I was like, damn, how old are you? 15? Why you got crow's feet? Like, but it happens, so that's why when a lot of times people will ask me, oh, what's your thing for older people or what's your thing for younger people? I'm like, I treat everybody primarily the same because I have worked with 15, 16, 17-year-old girls who has had crow's feet. I have worked with people who are in their late 50s, early 60s, who have nothing. So to sit up here and constantly keep saying, oh my God, I worked with one young lady. Her skin was so dry. She was cracking all over the place. She was only 20 and she had such deep lines in her face. And I just was like, honey, you need a moisturizer, because she was just cracking. She had crow's feet. She had lines. So to me, I don't know how many people I've had the privilege of working on, maybe 1,000 or so. I have to tell you, I have seen it from all ages. Unless we're talking about a super old person in their 80s and 90s and they have a lot of wrinkling, that's different. But for the most part, honey, I'm telling you, he said, no, God, not a 20-year-old. Yes, honey, a 20-year-old. A 20-year-old. I told you, I worked on a girl I couldn't believe that she was a teenager because she had so much wrinkling around her eyes. I mean, she had crow's feet around her eyes. I was like, whoa. It was the first time I had actually started paying attention to, wow. This to me, for me, again, in my clients, I guess, I have seen funky skin on all ages, on all ages. Thank you, Monique. Yes, teenagers do have crow's feet. I met a few, right? Isn't it? It's mind blowing, isn't it? When you see a young person and they have crow's feet, you're like, what is going on? But they do, so it is what it is. And guess what? If they do, they do. You know what I mean? It's not a mark on them. It's just they do. That's all. It's okay. And our job is to work with the crow's feet. Our job is to work with the wrinkles, right? Isn't that our job? And so the other thing that I did on one of my videos, because I have so many, like 4, is the one that I believe I worked on my friend Rebecca. And I think I was doing like some boss lady lunch or something that was kind of clean, but kind of elegant at the same time. And I described on there how I'm color correcting her first. The foundation goes on. Then I add warmth to her skin. Again, it's not all of this contorted concealers and all this stuff, because older people, but just like younger people, but older people specifically don't need a lot of heavy makeup on them, because when you do that, they look old. They kind of look old in a weird way. Like you're trying to kind of combat age. I mean, what's happening here? I'm thinking of this gentleman who's online. He's on, I think he's from Russia, and he does a lot of these head videos, so he has like a lot of older people he's been doing, and so he packs it on their faces. You've seen him, if you ever seen him, he draws the lines on their face and draws the contour, and he's drawing it all on, and then he goes in and he does it, and then he pencils in their eyebrows, which just drives me insane. But when I'm thinking of older people, he tends to powder the hell out of them. And again, powdering correctly will make a lot of the lines die down and go away. But he's heavy-handed with his makeup. That's just not my style of makeup, but he's very heavy-handed with the makeup. So it depends. But I'm telling you, if you really want to be careful, you have to be careful in the eye area. You must be careful in the eye area. You must be, because that's where people are going to see the person the most. Like, they're going to look at them in the eyes. They're going to see these little tick, 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 ticks. And then, honey, they're gonna write to you later and say, I took a picture. Look at that. Okay, that's the last thing you want. So since you guys are here, we're doing a new thing called Give Me a Thumbs Up. So when you're here, can y'all please give this video a thumbs up while we are here all together chatting? Thumbs up, not here on the thing, here underneath the video. I don't know how you do that on the live, but however you can, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you very much, because YouTube needs to know a sister is here. Thank you very much, people. Thank you very much. So do you guys have any questions? Because that was the one question that she had asked me, which was, how do you deal with the lineage? That's how I have been dealing with that for even when I was a film person. That is how I dealt with lines, even when I was doing film. Because you remember, a film makeup artist, our work is not on a little screen. Our work is 20 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet wide, and 40 feet high. So you will see everything, every mistake I've made, you will see it. So film makeup is a little bit different than, let's say, beauty makeup and fashion makeup, because what you're looking at on YouTube and what you're looking at on Instagram, that's not really film techniques that will keep a person, natural enough. And film teaches you how to keep a person very natural and have a full face of makeup on, a full face. You'd be amazed at how much makeup a lot of these people are wearing, and they look like they just woke up. They have nothing on their face. Okay, it's a lot to it. And so that's where my training comes from, the film world. I took my film training, and then I practiced in skin, and then I moved on to fashion, and then I perfected a little bit more. But practice this area. Just all you do is practice. You do it to yourself. Practice. You will see. Even I do it to myself. Practice. All you have to do is say, am I creasing? I'm still creasing. Pop, pop, pop. I'm still creasing. Pop, pop, pop. Let it settle. Don't powder. Keep doing what you're doing. Come back. The last thing I want you guys to do is this area. It's the last thing I want you to do. Don't powder until it has worked its way out. Okay? Until it's worked its way out. Because now it's all like this, and we want it to go like that. We want it nothing. Some more. Do you recommend doing makeup for free to build your clientele, or should you charge a small fee? Free would be maybe friends. Yeah, I mean, yes, I want to say yes, because I did it. So I'm not, I'm not telling you something that I didn't do. Yeah, I did free makeup. I think I feel like I told you guys, but years ago, many moons ago, when I was a newbie, I had makeup parties in my house. My friends would come over, and in fact, I just found the pictures not too long ago. But we would have makeup parties in my house, and they would come over, sit in this chair. I still have the stupid chairs. They sit in this chair, and they would let me do their makeup. And at the time I was doing film, so I would do like kind of like period pieces on them and all that kind of stuff. So you could do that. You can do that for a couple of months. So you'd have like, I'm not saying invite 20 people over, but I'm saying like maybe you can have three people come over, you give them a little alcohol or something, and, and then feed them a little bit and have them come over. So you remember, you're practicing at this point. That's what that's all about. It's a practice. So until you really get good, then you start charging. But right now, technically, you are practicing. So that's why I say I don't really have a problem with not charging. But the point is like, once you get the hang of it, boo boo, the free is over. Okay, the free is over. Okay, and then you can also entice them by coming in and saying, like, trying to do it maybe like on a Friday or a Saturday. So they might come over at 5 o'clock, and then that way you can make them up for them to go out to a party. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like almost like a trade-off. Like, they don't mind coming to get the face beat, and then they get to go off and enjoy your makeup. You see what I'm saying? Make it like some type of barter. Do you see? Like, I'll do it for you, you do for me, you go off and your makeup's done. You get what I'm saying? You could do that way too. But there's all ways of getting people to volunteer their face, because you need volunteers. So you just tell them you need to practice. I was very honest. I was like, I'm practicing. I wasn't charging. In fact, I fed them. I wasn't charging, and they were lovely enough to come over and be very supportive and help a sister out with some 1920s roaring makeup. So you never know. Try it. You never know, some more. How would you get one, Vicky, how would one get into the makeup artist film industry? Seems almost impossible without expensive school or nepotism. Hello. Asking on my mom's account. Okay. It's not impossible, because every few years I meet amazing newbies who are in the union and who are starting, and many of my assistants have gone on to do amazing things. They're in the union, they're doing film work. So I'm not going to say it's impossible. I will say, when I started, it felt very impossible for me, because I kept getting this weird runaround. I would ask questions and I would get the wrong information, and they didn't have a website available, so I couldn't really check what they were saying. So it was a lot of BS when I first started trying to join, let's say, something like the union. But I will say this, Dee, that film makeup is a specialty. It's not like, and no offense to fashion, but film makeup is a specialty. There's a lot that goes along with it, like lighting and script breakdown, and dealing with the director, and dealing with scenes. And so there's more to it than just makeup. Okay, so that is why it's very important that you do go to school for something like that. That is a specialty. But fashion is more kind of like off the top of your head sometimes, as long as you can get the basing down right. When I say basing, foundation, match it, and then you have a artistic kind of hand, you can be a fashion makeup artist in 2 seconds. In fact, most fashion makeup artists I've met never went to school. Never. I don't think I've met one who's gone to school. Not one of those, top echelon type of. Nope, they didn't go to school. But the film people did. They went to school. So it's not impossible, but I do recommend training. I do. You can get your training kind of the harder way, which would be through student films. You can try to volunteer your way there, but you really do need to know what you're doing. That's the funk of it. You really do need to know what you're doing. And I found out, because I went to school, all the different nuances that go along with film. It really is a specialty. It really is. So if you do want to do it, it's an investment. I think it's worth the investment. Definitely changed my life and changed the way I do makeup and how people recognize my work. And so I think it's worth it. You just have to find the right school for it. Just don't go to any old person either. It has to be somebody who has worked in films and understands films and all that stuff. Don't, just because girlfriend's around the corner, teaching makeup, don't just take anybody's class in that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I took my class before the building. Everything's before 9/11. So before 9/11, I was in school before 9/11. So before the buildings fell. And then after 9/11, I graduated. So it was kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know, honey. I do think you should go to school for that. I do. Pure joy, makeup, and beauty and life. Hi, hello, lovely to you, honey. Hi, Vicky. Is there a school you recommend? I actually really like mud, but caveats. I like mud for fashion. I don't know what it is for the film people. I haven't had the opportunity to. When I go speak at Mud, I'm a guest speaker, and so when I go speak at Mud, I don't know what they're doing. I forgot where you live, honey. If you can tell me where you live, I'm trying to remember. There are amazing schools in LA. Clearly, there's some amazing schools in Florida. We have some cool things in New York. There might be a cool makeup school that does film in Chicago. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of I think that's off the top of my head. So I would be. So there are good schools. Like I said, I like Mud. I like the atmosphere of Mud a lot. I like the teachers. I like their dedication to their students. Excuse me. The other reason why I like Mud so much is because I really technically haven't met a student that was unhappy. Now, if you know people who are unhappy who went to Mud, please let me know. They're just so tickle pink and they graduate. They're so happy. They feel like they got their money's worth. So that's another reason why I like Mud. Oh, you know what? You know what's good? I always do that. I always recommend Mud, and then I forget Makeup Forever. You also might want to look into Makeup Forever Academy for that. I went to a school here. It was called LIBS, and now it's called Empire. But it depends on your teacher. On my blog, DeShawn Loves Makeup, there's a blog article story that I had put on there about school and what you need to do before you give them one damn cent. And you interview, like, you know how when you go to these makeup schools, right? They want to sit you down, they want to talk to you, they want to find out where you are, blah, 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 blah. All that's great. It's like an interview, right? Okay, that's great. Now I'm here, biatch. I'm interviewing you. Who is my teacher? What am I learning? Is there syllabus? What are you going to teach me? Don't just walk up to a school and hand over your money. Things like that. Don't do that. You are spending a great deal of money. You have to go and do your due diligence with that damn school and find out all of the particulars that you need to know. And then you need to go do your homework and go look these people up, find out about their careers, and also find out little weird things. Like, it's not even in my article. Find out. Okay, so let's say they'll say DeShawn is your teacher, right? Okay, and then you go, oh, well, I didn't know DeShawn was my teacher. Okay, boom, I follow her on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, your course is 6 months to a year. Let's just say that, right? But DeShawn done showing up once. I breezed in and I breeze out. I'm not really there for hands-on. I'm there for a lecture and then I bounce. So these are the things that I want you to know about schools. So you need to go and do your homework. When I went to my school, even though there was only one school in New York at the time that did a certified film, TV, film, and print course. Only one. And even I wasn't willing to just hand over my money. I said, well, what am I going to learn? Where's my syllabus? Who's my teacher? Can I have his bio? I asked all those questions. I asked every single question I could. So that's what I want you to do. If you're thinking about it, yes, yay, go to school. But how often is the teacher going to be teaching me every day? Or is the teacher coming as a lecturer? Like, what's the deal? What is happening? And then you want to find out from a school what they do for you. Because the other thing about LIBS at the time, was they said, oh, we have this amazing board and we have jobs all the time. They love to promise you jobs. And then you go to the board, ain't nothing up at that board. Okay. And you don't graduate, you don't pay to thousands of dollars. And you're like, okay, where's my job, Biatch? And then there's nothing. So all of these little things is you want to know jobs, you want to talk to other students. Okay. And this is the other thing I do, even when I was not even going to school, but I was moving to the Bronx. Oh, so I was moving to the Bronx, right? She's like, DeShawn, where is this going? But I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Come with me to the Bronx. So I'm moving to the Bronx, right? And I'm thinking, oh, this little neighborhood is really cute, but the Bronx got a reputation. And I was like, I'm scared. It looks too good to be true. So what did I do? I walked around and I started talking to people. How is it over here? Is it a lot of crime? I started asking all these individuals. Then I went to the police. I did. I went to the police and I asked the police, okay, tell me the truth. I'm a single female wanting to move into this neighborhood. Am I risking my life? Like, what's the deal? And they were telling me the truth. They said, oh no, this is a very low crime. This place I live had their own security force. It's a really nice, and I mean, they made me feel secure that I wasn't going to get my head chopped off. And that's what, and so I want you to think of going to school and asking questions so they don't chop off your head. I want you to be completely inundated with questions. And by the way, when I went to school, I had like a clipboard of stuff that I was like, okay, and what else? Okay, I have another question. Excuse me. I had questions. I'm not going to give people thousands and thousands of dollars to show up blindly, because we get too much of that. We get to, I see it all the time now with these online schools. Child, people, I can't. I know there's some really good online schools. I just haven't met them yet. I just don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Each time I see somebody who says they graduated from one of these online schools, they don't know what the F they're doing. They don't know how to match foundation. They're doing things wrong. And I just don't understand it. And so every single time I see a graduate from these online schools, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand. How did you graduate? You don't know how to match foundation. How did you graduate? You can't even do a line. All of these things. So that's my rant, honey. That is my rant. Oh, you're in Philly. So you probably have to come to New York. You're probably going to have to come to New York. I don't know anything in Philly. I don't think Philly doesn't really have a film community, but Philly, I'm old school Philly. I have family from Philly. But Philly might have like a school like New York has, like NYU has like a Tisch School of the Performing Arts, something like that. They may have that, and they may offer a course in film makeup. So you might want to go to the universities to see if they have any drama departments, any film departments, that kind of thing, and see if they then offer film certified film makeup courses. You might want to try that again, but you cannot go without your clipboard. You have to go ask your questions, okay? But that's what you would have to kind of do. Alrighty, not all schools are created equal, but they are all pricey. Yes, she's right. I spent thousands of dollars on my course. I took it at night. It took me, I can't remember how many months. It was months and months and months at night that I had to take my course. And it was every day not every day. It was Monday through Thursday. And it was for, I think I had to get there by 6. And I do believe by 9:30, 10 o'clock, we were out. But that was every day. And every day for months and months and months and months. And then we had a practice day, and you had a lot of practical time as well. And the thing about school that I really like is the reason why I push school so much for film is that there are reasons why things go in order. You see, there's reasons why I like school, because they put you in order. They're not having you jump the gun and do something here and then do, there's an order. There is a method to their madness, you see. And that's why I like it. It's sort of like, here she goes, another analogy. It's like me and Photoshop. It's like DeShawn versus the Bronx, and now it's Photoshop. Bear with me. Okay. I am a self-taught Photoshopper. I am a professional retoucher. I've been hired by some of the biggest modeling agencies to do all of their model testing model testing photos and all that stuff. Some of the biggest modeling agencies in the world I used to work for as a retoucher. Okay. Great, right? Yay! But I don't do things in the normal fashion that, say, a trained Photoshopper would, you see. There's things that they do in shortcuts. And I was like, I don't do that. Where'd you learn that? Because I am self-taught. So there are things that I just don't effing know, right? The end result may be good, but there's just things that this girl to this day still don't know. You understand? Because I am a self-taught person. But that's cool because I am I'm single. There's nobody I have to really like. I'm not on a set. I am sitting here in my house, click, click, click. I can do it by myself. I don't have to be on a set with other people and deal with directors and lighting and scripts. And I don't have to do that. It's just a little solitary thing that people do in the dark, right? But as a film makeup artist, you have a world of people that you will be talking to and dealing with. And you need to know that. And school goes down the list of those things. They will teach you script breakdown. Script breakdown is more important than your damn makeup half the time. But all of that comes into play. That is why school is so important for specialties like that. Okay? That's why I'm praying that you go to school. But really check out the universities and see if they have something like we have here, the Tisch School. NYU has Tisch. We have Columbia University here that has a big film, a student film department. So you might want to see if they offer that too. Probably still going to be around the same amount as a makeup school, but you might even get better training through that because they'll probably have you working on student films right away. So it's like all these little things I want you to keep in mind. Do you know what I mean? My analogies. You have you have an amazing and generous personality, by the way. Thank you. She's cuckoo. So I hope that helps you with all of my cuckoo analogies. I hope you understand that you do your due diligence. You talk to the police officers and you find out if you're going to get your head chopped off, or and then you go to school and you find out, what you need to do by doing your due diligence with your interview. You will interview that school. You must interview that school. Do not pay your money. Do not pass go, or they will go straight to jail. Don't do it. Any questions, people? Any questions? Whilst we here? I'm trying to think of, any questions? I'm looking to see what time it is. Listen, I'm still in the office. I'm still trying to figure this room out. You ever have the time? Listen, this has nothing to do with makeup, okay? But procrastination, it's bad. It's bad. It's here. It's bad. This room is 90% done. Look, I got paint on my book. It's 90% done. It's the last 10% that, see, she's got the crazy eyes. I can't get through it. I'm trying, but I can't get through it. This room's driving me crazy. But I digress. Are there any more procrastinators out there like me? If you are, show yourself. Make me feel like I'm not alone. But yeah, I can't get through this room no matter what I do. I can't get through the room. It's driving me crazy. So do you guys have any more questions? Because if you don't, we can call it a day. And then I'll go back to going to the community board. And I will put up the, do you have any questions? So you guys can just type out your questions underneath. And so next Monday we can have class again and we can do that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what what would Philly, oh, Penn State. Penn State might have Penn State might have a film department. You check that out. I kept saying I know this Temple, but I don't think Temple is like that kind of school. I think Penn State might be more along the lines of something that might have something that can help you. Also, I know it's not Vicky, but also what you might want to do is you could possibly reach out to people who are doing student films and be truthful and say, I don't know what I'm doing. But if you need a makeup artist, I would love to help you, and then that way you learn on the job that way. So there's a couple of ways doing it, but that's the harder way. That's hard. I'm telling you now, that's much, 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 much harder to do it that way. Okay. But at least you can get your feet wet. It's almost, you know what it's like, in assisting rules, I had just rewrote it, or basically, rewrote it and added a whole film and television section in there, right? Because you guys kept asking me, well, DeShawn, what about film and television? How come you didn't write about assisting for film and television? And technically, you can't assist for film and television, but you could get your behind on a student film and learn that way. You see what I'm saying? But the other problem with this is when you are working on student films, this is the biggest problem. That's why going to school sets you up for student film, because you would be the only makeup artist on set. There's nobody to talk to. Do you see what I'm saying? There's nobody. You are the key. You are the one in charge. And so that is why it's so important to go to school, even when you start to work on a student film. When I left school, I went straight to Columbia University and I started working on student films. Okay. And then from there, I picked up like a couple of low budget music videos. And then I moved on. And then I went on to Shake and Booty music videos. And then I moved on. And then I went to Shake and Booty men's magazines. And I moved on, you see. So, but you will be the only one on set. So that's something to think about. And also, you may have to learn how to do hair if you're going to go that route. Now, once you get to major motion pictures, then the hair goes like this. Makeup is here, hair is here. But when you're dealing with low budget BS, you might have to pick up hair skills as well. So there's a lot to. That's why I say there's just so much to that. I would prefer you to be wrapped in the arms of school and somebody show you the ropes, and instead of you just going blindly going into film. It's just hard. Maria Jones. Hi, Maria Jones. Hi, DeShawn. Hi, everyone. I wish there was an apprenticeship model. Oh, she's talking to Sarah. Yeah, no, it's called school. It's called school. I really do think you should. I hate to be that pusher of school. But when it comes to film, yes, I'm sorry. I'm a pusher of film. I want you to go to school. I'm sorry. It's already, the film industry is fabulous, but it's already hard the F enough. It's really hard. The hours. See, this other thing that people don't talk about. Them damn hours. Oh, hell. Oh, them a damn hours will put you in a coma. The very last thing I have, no, not the very last thing, because I've done so much more since then, but one of the films I had worked on, I was actually assisting, but I was like the second makeup artist, right? And I had, at this time, I had already done like 75 magazines, and I'm teaching, I'm doing all this stuff, but I had a very slow summer, and I knew I was going to have a slow summer. And this person had put up a thing on board that said she was looking for a second. And I said, oh, I don't mind, I don't mind going to help her out with her, with her movie. And then she hired me, and I was like, cool, you know. And again, I'm not, when I am assisting, I'm an assistant. I'm not, you know, because she was like, why would you want to assist me? And I was like, well, I have free time. I don't mind, you know. And so I went, and I did the job. But this is when I moved to the Bronx, but the hours were killing me because we would get I don't drive. That's the other thing. Learn how to drive. If you don't drive, please learn how to drive. So basically, they have the crew van that they come pick you up at. But I lived in the Bronx, and for people who don't understand where the Bronx, where I lived, on a regular late night scheduled train is more than an hour away from, let's say, downtown Manhattan, Soho area, Chinatown. Those are downtown. I'm way uptown. Okay. So now they're saying by the time I got home, it was already 10 o'clock at night. Okay. Then I had to try to fall asleep so I can get back up at 2 in the morning because I had to go meet the crew van at something like 5 or 4:30 in the morning. So which means that I only had like maybe 3 hours of sleep before I now have to turn back around, get up, take a shower, get out, and get back on the train and meet the crew van so I can at 5 or 4:30 so we can go to set so that I can come back again at 10 o'clock at night and do it all over again. This biatch was exhausted. I was exhausted. And these are the things that people don't tell you. Your call time is at 5 o'clock in the morning, but that's not the time you wake up, is it? No. And you could, you know, a lot of times what will happen in film, we talk about this in assisting rules, by the way, because even though it is for assisting, it is to set you up for you to understand what film is all about and the scheduling and all of that, because people don't understand the grueling hours that you are working. And so, yes, so now I'm getting 3 hours a night sleep. And then sometimes in films, you will, they'll say, oh, we'll send you the call sheet, you know, later. Well, later could be 11 o'clock. It could be 12 o'clock, midnight. It could be 1 o'clock in the morning. And you're like on pins and needles, like, well, what time do I have to be there? What, you know, it's a lot of like kind of hurry up and wait. It's a lot of travel. It's long hours, you know. So that's the other thing that I want you to understand. It's just a lot. And you would know that by going to school. They would tell you that. They will start to set you up and explain that stuff to you. But honey, listen, straight up truthful. I quit. I quit that job. Listen. She came to me all happy. She goes, you know what? She goes, you know what? I said, what? She goes, they have expanded shooting for another 2 weeks. I said, no, I can't do it. I'm tired. I can't do this. I'm exhausted. Like I said to her, I said, girl, I am exhausted. I can't. I signed up for the 2 weeks. You said it was 2 weeks, so I signed up for 2 weeks. That's what you told me. I made my commitment. This girl is out. I said, I can't do it. I said, I quit. I quit. I quit. She was so mad at me. She was mad at me. And I was like, I could give a rat's ass. I quit. I gave you 2 weeks. You said it was 2 weeks. I'm out. And then she was also a piss ass poor key. She was a terrible key. She wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. I couldn't go to the bathroom. She'd have me stand outside in the rain all day. I mean, I remember there was a time I was in the rain for 12 hours. She never came out to see, hey, do you need to go to the bathroom? Hey, do you want to get something to drink? Hey, she just left me. See, I don't do that to my assistants. I make sure they eat. I make sure they can go to the bathroom. I make sure they get a break. You know what I mean? Like, you don't treat, it's like you wouldn't treat a dog like that. So why are you treating me like that? So I didn't like the way she treated me. I didn't like the fact that I'm standing outside in the rain the entire day. And then when I walked off set to go to the bathroom, to go to bed because I couldn't find her. Like she had a walkie-talkie, but magically it wasn't on when I called her, you know. And I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. And then finally, I just bounced. I left set and had to go to the bathroom. So she sees me. She goes, why are you away from the set? Why are you away from the set? I said, I have to go to the bathroom. I have been trying to get your attention for 4 hours. And then the crew came in to tell me, oh, DeShawn, you know, she's been sitting there talking on the phone the entire time. I said, you see, but she has the right. She's a key. She can do what she wants. But at the same time, I'm a human, and human beings need to be, we need to go to the bathroom. So when I quit, this biatch quit, okay? I was like done. And she was screaming at me and everything. She was screaming at me. And I was like, I'm done. So I quit. Sometimes you got to quit, okay? Sometimes you just have to say it. Deuces. So that's why I say, my darling, if you want to be in film, there's a lot to it. There's an awful lot to it. And I want you to be prepared. I would have reported her to the union. Okay, so this was a non-union shoot. So there was no union to report her to. That's a good point. Yes, there was no union to report her to. She was a key on her own. She was a lovely young girl. She was very sweet. I actually liked her. I still like her. But as a key, someone who has very ill regard for others, I am a very empathetic person. So when I feel like you can't treat other people respectfully in terms of at least let her go to the bathroom kind of thing, you know what I mean? And I just wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. No, when she came and said it was another 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, deuces. Pure Joy Makeup, Beauty, and Life says, that is terrible, DeShawn. I could not have taken that laugh. I would have told her off. At some point. Listen, when she started screaming at me, I remember I was talking, where was I? I had quit. And I had gone shopping. Like I had gone to I think I was actually in Century 21 shopping, and she called me on the phone and she started screaming at me. What am I supposed to do for the 2? I said, I gave you 2 weeks. You put down the job was 2 weeks. I gave you 2 weeks. That's it. This is all the sister can do. I cannot do no more. Oh, you can't do that to me. Ah! And she's screaming. And she's screaming at me on the phone. And I was like, oh, are you, in my mind, I'm like, oh, are you upset that you can't talk on the phone now? Is that what you're upset about? First of all, the job did not require 2 people, to be honest. It didn't require 2 people. They were mostly men in the first place. So it didn't really require 2 people. And, if you're that, if you're on top of your game, you can certainly run to the bathroom and come right back. You can certainly do that. I've had to do that on many films I worked on where I was the only person. There was nobody else but me. And I would say, I gotta go to the bathroom. Or I'd ask the AD, how the AD's assistant director, listen, I gotta go to the bathroom. How much time do I have to go to the bathroom? And they say, okay, DeShawn, you got 5 minutes. Bang. And then you'd run and you come right back. So, she just wanted to sit on her ass and talk on the phone. That's what she wanted to do. And it was just such a rainy set. I will never forget how much it rained. It felt like it rained for 2 weeks. And then we were shooting in Long Island and Queens, but it's very swampy. Oh God, it was terrible. But yeah, she didn't treat me like a human being. She did not treat me like a human being. And I can't tolerate people who are not nice to people. I can't tolerate that. It's hard for me. And she wasn't nice to me. And I tried. No, she was nice to me once. She said to me, you work so hard today, you can go home early. But early was like a half an hour before wrap. And I was like, really? I can go home? She was like, yes, you can go home. I said, okay, thank you. So she let me go home early. Okay, that's about all she did for me. That was it. I don't even think I got any credit on that film whatsoever. And I don't even think I got paid. I don't even think I got paid for that 2 weeks. No, I didn't get paid for those 2 weeks. I did not get paid. Mysteriously, my paperwork was not handed in. Okay. People will be people. But my point is, Felder, that these are all the things I want you to learn before you step your behind on a set. Okay? Trust and believe me. I want you. Because I love film. I love the whole process. I think it's a beautiful field to be a film makeup artist. I think it's really cool. There's so much to learn. And there's so much crew that you feel like you're a part of this really big uh, uh, adventure, and you're all in it together in such a strange way. And you get to meet so many different people in so many different fields, and you pick up little tips and tricks from them. And sometimes even a grip can make your life easier. It's just amazing. Film is tiring and everything, but it's an amazing um, world to work in. I really love it. And every now and then I get to work in film. I'm very privileged. I say it again because I'm very proud of it. But the last thing, no, not the last thing, but one of the biggest things I had done in the last couple of years was work on the Oscar-nominated, Emmy winner, the Apollo documentary that's on HBO. I was very proud of that. That made me very happy. And when we beat Michelle Obama, I was shocked. And we won the Emmy. Yeah. So it's cool. But I want you to go to school. Brian Dean, I'm late. You are, because I'm about to go. So anyway, beautiful people, that's your story. You got a story out of me. You got a sermon. You got weird chopping heads off analogies. You got a lot of stuff out of me tonight. A lot. And so, beautiful people, she out. But have a great week. I will be back next Monday at 8:00. Monday, not Sunday, Monday, summertime. So it's Monday. Okay. And I will make sure I post it on Instagram and all that stuff, so you guys remember it's Monday. Okay, beautiful people. Thank you for coming. Brian Dean, you're late, but I still love ya. Have a good week, people. Bye. Where's the clicker? Bye.